Mm-hmm.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? My name is Matt Schatz. I'm your lead community developer here at Gun Media, and I'm joined by...
Wes Keltner.
That's me. I am Wes. You are Ronnie.
I am.
Just keeping them on
Last
their
time I
toes.
checked.
Depends on who's asking.
Throwing it that way.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, shoot, I forgot. I've got a baller shirt as well. I just forgot
yeah.
underneath. So there'll be a strip tease.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Wardrobe change.
Yeah, that's what everybody wants.
So, just in case you were thinking of just tuning in for a minute, make sure you stick around for the wardrobe change with
Right,
Mr. Wes
exactly.
Keltner.
Exactly.
But we were talking about Gremlins. I figured it would be a good idea to rock some Gremlin stuff. But this is Tales from the Stream. Thursday means it's Tales from the Stream, which means we're hanging out here. We're going to play some video games and chat with you guys about all things horror. Today, we have a classic game, Fatal Frame 2. There you go. Actually,
Fatal Frame 2
on the PlayStation 2.
on the PlayStation 2, not the Xbox version, which came out a year later, director's cut.
Which you were telling me is really freaking hard to find.
It is.
Yeah.
So it's like $1 billion at GameStop if you can find
There
it.
you go.
$1 billion at GameStop.
$1 billion. Yeah. So this is Fatal Frame 2, by the way, and for those that don't know, this is arguably the scariest game ever made.
Ever.
No, it's a legit thing. So any list worth its...
I mean, when people are talking about horror, they're like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Fatal Frame.
Silent Hill 2 and Fatal Frame 2 are 1A and 1B.
I played the first one.
all-
I actually did not play the second one. So for me, this is going to be a whole new.
Part 1 was so scary that majority of players didn't finish it.
Yeah.
And
I
so
didn't finish
In
it.
Part 2, they purposely added more story to try to get you to be more interested and less scared, although they had the adverse effect. The story is frightening, and there's some moments in this game that are terrifying.
So they
In
tried
fact,
to
hang on.
hook you.
Warning, do not play this game alone.
Wow. Well, it's a good thing we're all together.
It's not, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
We're
So,
all-
Glad we brought our
Fatal Frame 2.
Yeah.
So you'll hold my hand if we got.
I got the controller, man.
Damn it.
Which vibrates, by the way. Rob wanted us to let you know.
Producer Rob wanted everyone to know that the controller vibrates.
When you get near ghosts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
There's more to that. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
And
And
so-
we're
real
playing an
quick-
old school PS2, old school controller that's wired. Matt was like, "Oh my god, I totally forgot about wired
Yeah.
controllers."
I know.
Like that's
Just
the thing.
holding this thing is actually weird because
Yeah.
it's...
I saw the wire running over the table, and I was about to be like, I think it's probably charged up. They don't charge up.
No,
so,
sir.
Yeah.
No.
But real quick, before we jump into the game, I want to say what's up, Havoc, Kiba, South, one and only Bond, Rachel Martinez, Babysitter Killer. We've Nick from Slash and Cast, Justin. We've got a ton of people in Twitch, and we've got a bunch of folks, My Own Creation, JJC over in Mixer as well. I just wanted to say hello to you guys. It vibrates you dirty. No, we didn't mean like that, Babysitter Killer. So without any more jibber jabber, we've got Tales from the Stream with Fatal Frame 2, and Ronnie is on the sticks. So go for it, bud.
So we're going to...
Before you start,
Yeah, go ahead.
'cause the
I'm
first
sticking
one-
around.
The first one I recall, it's like brother and sister or something. Something about a writer or an author or something that you're. My memory's cloudy. You go to this building or to this place or something, and
You're investigating.
right
Yeah. Yeah. So very...
now is this within the same vein?
So this is, I believe, 30 years before that.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's a separate timeline, so to speak. It's not until you play Fatal Frame 3 that you realize this isn't a direct story, but it's held as a prequel. So
Got it.
different timeline, different people. You can play this game independently, although the camera itself is one of the key linking aspects of the two games.
There you
So
go.
the camera obscura.
Yep.
That's the lone, I guess, common denominator.
And then
That makes sense.
I don't recall a game before this using a camera as a mechanic, especially not in
That's a good trivia
horror.
question. I don't think so. It was really Fatal Frame that established that as a gameplay mechanic.
Right.
And
But you see that inspiration, I guess, from the Outlast. I don't know if you asked
Oh,
the
yeah.
Outlast dudes.
yeah, look at the upside down T.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That look familiar? I know it's a cross, but
Right.
Outlast, their logo. They may have borrowed.
Inspired a lot of modern
Yeah.
horror.
Oh, definitely. And so what we're gonna do? Easy,
Easy.
always easy.
Always
Yeah.
easy.
We're here to hang out.
We're gonna watch the opening cutscene. It's
Yeah.
probably like,
Professionals.
which is gonna be weird, and it's gonna seem long, but it's really not.
Okay.
This will just establish what the game is, and we can chat while it's doing things. If you guys have questions about the story, I'll give you like a primer.
That we would always be together.
So this first part, really you're just a pair of twin sisters. and you're revisiting a childhood play area, and what you're seeing in a flashback is when you were younger, she fell while you guys are playing. She has a limp.
Spoiler.
Well, that's it. That's in the cutscene here. So now you've kind of promised to take care of your sister. You feel kind of like obligated and feel guilty about it. So she has a limp. Nonetheless, they're back here at a childhood location. There's a dam being built that's going to destroy this forest. So they're playing here once again, and
I'm fine.
you're about to see that they stumble upon some things. But these are the two twin sisters, Mio and Mayu.
Yes? Never mind.
Is this the? Oh, yep.
Flashback.
So I don't like interrupting cutscenes.
No, go ahead. You can talk
I
over
don't
this.
like the long pause either. But I wanted to say there was something I read that was really cool
About
in
that
chat.
time back
Cuba
then.
PMS says my 16-year-old daughter. My 16-year-old daughter just recently played through my old copy of this. I love that I'm able to share my love of horror with her. That is amazing. And
Was she scared shitless?
yeah, yeah, your 16-year-old daughter played this, and we were just talking about how scary it is. I wonder how she did.
Yeah.
How's it going, Female Phenom? And Vorsikend, just to let you know, this is Tales from the Stream. This is where we hang out. We're going to play some video games. We're going to talk horror with the community. We have a whole other show beyond dedicated to dealing with news and community QA. So you might want to check that one out.
So here's the part where there's this village. There's a lost village is what they call it. And there was a ritual gone wrong is where about once every decade, two twins in that village have to strangle each other. And the ghost is then protecting the village. Well, the ritual went wrong. One of the twins tried to escape. They ended up killing the other twin just as a last hope. Shit goes wrong. So it's no secret that now you are two twins who
Got it.
are being led here by this crimson butterfly. So what seems to be you stumbling upon a lost village is really you getting pulled in.
Got it.
So it involves a lot of sisters mistaking your sister for their sister, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
So the ritual sisters, where shit went wrong, they recognize you and think that you're part of their family, so they're trying to pull you in and complete the ritual.
I'm just thinking like most Japanese entertainment, be it film, game, anything else, is never straightforward.
No. This story goes super deep, and at first you think you're just stumbling upon a village here. You're following your sister. You know, she's being led. You figure this out later on purpose. And then shit gets really, really creepy.
I like that. I took a minute to read chat, and when I kind of like pulled up for air, you were like, so there's this, they're ritual killing,
Yeah.
and they got the wrong, and I was like,
Whoa.
I missed
Yeah.
something big, I was like, oh boy. I was reading, and
Yeah.
I missed something huge. Havoc says he wants confirmation on Wes smoking, and then he said smiling, damn autocorrect, so.
Confirmation that I smoke.
Smoke?
Yeah.
I do not
He
smoke.
does not smoke, or smile, so
Yeah.
depending on,
I do smile.
Wes does. He smiles a lot.
my own creation says I'm just here to troll Shacha. Oh man, that's like,
Mean.
It's not even friendly. So now again, not to interrupt the cutscene, but that's the Crimson Butterfly,
Yeah, it's-
which is kind of the waypoint you were saying.
Leading you into they clearly want two sisters who are alive to come to their lost city.
Village.
The lost village, excuse me. This has been a rumored place that if you get lost in the forest, you get trapped here. And it's like very Japanese lore there, But turns out we're here on purpose. We just don't know it. So
I've heard about this place. A long time ago, there was a village here that disappeared during a festival. People who get lost in
the
the
first
woods
game
are
took
trapped
place
by the
entirely in a
village.
house, pretty much. This was,
that
they
place?
opened it up here and a lot more buildings, a lot more wide open, which gives you the illusion that you have places to run, but you don't.
Yeah.
That's one thing about this game is there is no shelter, there's no hiding,
Singing before, but
there's nothing you can do to get away, really.
nobody
So
here.
when you figure out that,
And the fixed camera angles.
yeah, the fixed camera angles, and I don't want to ruin it. I think everyone should pick up this game and play it and see the story for themselves, but you'll start to notice over time that your sister, who's behind me, she'll find clues along the way, by the way, and she'll go, she'll call out your name in a very creepy manner, And then you'll start to notice she's doing some weird things throughout the game. And these are all just mementos you find about the story. But
Who else is here?
once we get into the house, some good stuff.
Whoops.
Someone's down there.
Oh, they disappeared. Is it a ghost?
Definitely.
I hope so. Chase it. I kind of miss fixed camera angles. They really add an extra layer of attention that you just don't get in
Yeah.
real time.
Yeah. But players like
I
Control.
wonder if
Yeah,
anyone's
They
here.
do.
There's a.
Oh, watch.
My bad.
Watch.
Oh, shit.
Oh, damn.
Man, the first
Whose hand was I just
telling you,
holding?
you play this game at night with the lights out and surrounder headphones on,
It's
Yeah.
nice.
man, you'll see some cutscenes here in a minute. They're just completely Japanese, like Ringu and
I was getting ready to say that had like a Ju-on vibe. Remember she's like
yeah.
washing her hair.
Oh, yeah. No, forgive me. We haven't played this game since 2003, so
Yeah.
Just maybe a few minutes. Yeah, it makes the experience really cinematic. Yeah, absolutely, Kiva. You know, especially, I think a lot of the desire behind those fixed camera angles is that they're putting work into the environment and the mood around you, so they want you to see it the way they plan.
exactly.
Which I mean,
And nothing
again,
else.
Right.
Yeah.
That can be tricky for players. You know.
Well, I mean, the
Mayu?
thing is, when it comes to control,
Mayu!
not just, I mean, with the controller, but like control, if you feel control as the player, then it's not quite as scary, and it lacks some of the,
Yeah.
you get the person that creates it gives up some of their vision to give you that control. But if the director, the creative direction behind it, if they are fixing the cameras themselves and saying, no, this is the viewpoint that they're looking at, then they have the control. So when they're pulling the strings
Yeah.
now, right? Like they're the
Players will manipulate the environment if they can.
yeah. So
And they'll cheat.
it becomes these are cool shots, by the way.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's so many of these. Just
I don't want to kill anyone.
they don't go.
Neat trick there
Yeah.
with the moving of the screaming from ear to ear,
Yeah.
speaker to speaker.
I don't know.
We speed running this. No, BD, I don't think we're.
I don't think I can speed run this because we've forgotten everything about the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
It's been how many years? 16.
Graphics are great for 2003. Yeah, that's fair.
It's been more time probably since I played this, and some people are old in chat.
Probably.
Do we have any 16-year-olds in chat?
Yeah, right.
Neo, don't go too far.
Well, sorry, lady, but I can keep up.
Oh, thanks, Fives. It's appreciated.
I kept searching for you.
Yeah, that's not unsettling.
I guess I'm gonna follow her.
Now, is it just me, or is the sister? You said that the sister had injured her leg, and so she has a little bit of a limp.
Yeah.
Does that hamper you from moving through this game?
Yes.
So that's going to keep you in a certain.
Yeah, you need to keep her alive too.
Jason would straight up kill these ghosts. Yeah, I mean that's not. Yeah,
I'm not gonna read the notebooks today because that's all the story. You know, I don't care.
you heard he dead, but he'll
I
kill
wonder
them again.
if
Yep, yep,
anyone's
yep,
really
yep.
here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be looking around for a minute. So Wes and I were, man, these camera angles when you open these doors, you just get a straight shot down the hallway.
Yeah.
Man, it's really good. Like, and they move it, they open it so slowly.
And then the dreaded one for me is when they throw the camera to you and you're running now at the camera, but you don't know
Who's
what
that?
Yep.
Oh yeah,
you
exactly.
don't know what you're running at.
Yeah, like
It's
right now?
ooh, yeah.
You lose the ability to see what's around that corner, right?
We're going upstairs.
Ronnie sees dead people. Yeah, yeah.
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 Confirmed.
See, she just called my name.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, first time I played this, I was like, is she frozen in place? Is she like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't really know what she's talking about, but she's trying to give you clues about she found some stuff.
What happened? There was someone over here.
Fuck that.
We out.
There
Yeah.
was.
Well, good luck to them because we're going upstairs.
Right.
Come on, sister.
Yeah. Let's go.
I'll leave you.
See, if this was Until Dawn, a tarantula would walk across the camera. Yeah.
Damn it, babysitter. You smile, Wes. Like we're watching a
Yeah, sorry.
horror movie.
Someone's near.
a horror
I know.
game. Serious little girl's about to
Yep.
die and shit, and he's like, smile. Somebody needs to nerf Ronnie ASAP. He said, your guns are too big. They said.
Oh, don't
Said
do
your
that.
guns can defeat ghosts.
Don't do
actually.
that. Don't nerf me. Please. Don't care about the notebook. All right.
Doge is Sandwich says, yeah, that sure is scary. My grammar isn't on point today. It's all right. We're with you, man.
What I need is Rob, producer, in my ear telling me where to go. Ah, we're at the beginning. Move me. What I have to do is really simple, actually. I just can't find it. I forget where I'm supposed to go. Move. Oh, here we go. You like that camera? I don't like opening that like that. That's the save point. We're not saving. Okay.
I feel like we're being watched by someone.
I feel like I'm being watched. There's something
Yeah.
weird about live streaming a game where they say, I feel like I'm being watched by someone.
Yeah. Move.
Actually, you are.
All right.
Get those ink ribbons, Screamer says.
no,
Wrong game.
no ink ribbons here. You save with the lanterns outside.
Mm-hmm. The hell was that?
Yeah, it's. I'm missing like a main room. I'm just not.
What's that on the floor?
Something under
A rug?
a rug with a body in it.
Is that your other sister?
You know, I only have one. Your producer Rob, you know where I'm supposed to go? No Adrian here.
Quick shout out to our producer Rob, who is like a game shark in our ear.
Yes.
Yeah.
How's it going, Mad Hatter Lynn? What's up?
Oh, hey. Yeah, this is back the way we came.
Some of those camera angles are slightly pervy.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if anybody else noticed.
No,
I
they
had
are.
the exact same thought, and I was like, you know, I'm not going to say it, but I'm glad somebody did.
So has anyone in our chat actually finished this game? Besides,
A couple of people.
Yeah,
And apparently, Kiba's 16-year-old kid.
Yeah,
Who,
obviously her.
Interestingly enough, 16-year-old kid, that means, I don't know, depending on when she was born, if this was even out yet.
yeah. This is not the right room.
Oh, well, thanks for stopping in, Mad Hatter.
Rob,
Harry needs some love.
move me out.
Harry?
Or
What are you
my
talking about, Doge? Oh, we got a host from Cataly. Thank you very much for the host, Cataly.
All right, let's just go back upstairs.
Oh, Harry Warden from My Bloody Valentine. Yeah, Doge was upset that you can't catch My Bloody Valentine on television right now. I think
Oh, you mean
it's
because
true.
it's Valentine's Day?
Yeah, I think that's a missed trick.
The original or the remake?
That's a.
Which one do you want to watch?
Which one would you rather see? I'm not mad
Original?
at either of them, but
Okay.
I got all the endings. I think Maru was a baby when this came out. I was pregnant with her when the first one came out. See, that's you basically indoctrinated her into the world of horror by playing this when she was a little tiny wee.
All right. You need to walk through here, Rob. Yeah.
Secret room.
That's the room I was looking for, I believe. Yeah, we've been in here. Nothing. Yeah, we did. There was a ghost here.
Ooh, there's a deck.
Yep.
Kiba says when she was like 3, people would ask her what her favorite movie was, expecting to hear something like Nemo, but she would say The Grudge and then would start
God.
making the noise. That's awesome. Perfect. That's parenting done right. My 4-year-old niece loves when Freddy Krueger tickles the teenagers. Jeez. So I'm not the only one who lets
He
my
tickles
kid
the
watch
teenager?
horror movies.
Right.
Yeah. She loves Freddy, see? My daughter, Moxie James, who I think probably has us on in the living room right now. Hello, Peanut. My daughter, Moxie James, likes wearing the Jason mask, and one of my favorite stories is in the living room on top of the entertainment center, we put the Jason mask out, and then we kind of have it like on display there. The other day, my wife was, reprimanding Moxie for doing something wrong, and Moxie, typical 3-year-old, threw a fit. But as she stormed off into her room crying, she grabbed the Jason mask off of the thing and stormed away with it. I was like, this is the end of us, I was like, this is how we go. Storming into her room with a
Right.
Jason mask. I was like, she's going to come back out wearing it. It's going to be bad.
Oh, yeah. There's a map button.
Left L1, R1. Yeah, there we go. I see a butterfly.
This is how we go. Right. Should have never told her to stop eating cookies.
Well, I mean...
Where's the Crimson Butterfly when we need him?
There.
So you need to turn left and go straight.
There. That's the entrance. Thanks. Man, click map button. This is where she stopped me and she was saying my name. We've been in this room 100 times. It was back here. Nothing's happening. This is where she said it. Nothing's. Yeah, this is where we came from. Have you been watching?
I love that Ronnie's having a full discussion with Rob, whereas chat can't hear Rob whatsoever.
Yeah, I know. I'm busy talking to a ghost.
Take care, Mad Hatter Lynn. Thanks for
Finally.
tuning in.
There we go.
Things strange.
Right, Wolfpack.
Here we go. Yeah, sorry we're having a conversation with
You're
a
good.
visible person.
She comes out wearing it, just lock up the doors, yep, done. We're out. Get a new apartment. See any good movies recently? Come on her feet. That's an interesting Twitch name there. Maybe I shouldn't have read that one. But see any good movies recently?
Oh my God. Really?
Yep.
Nice.
So guys, have you seen
Oh.
any good movies recently?
Wait, seen any good movies? I'm trying to play the game. Sorry.
Have I seen any good movies? I haven't. No, I have not watched a
Single movie?
Not in a while.
You've been watching anime.
I did get into some anime. I'm rewatching all of the X-Files TV series X Files. I'm in season 4. But yeah, I haven't really seen any good movies, or any movies for that matter. I can't even point to like a bad one. I just haven't done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I left the last Tales from the stream with homework and decided that I would check out Velvet Buzzsaw.
Yeah, that's the last thing I saw.
Yep.
Velvet Buzzsaw. So.
And then what else? Oh, we watched a movie called Mayhem, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
It stars
good.
I can't remember the actor's name now. Played Glenn on Walking
Yep,
Dead.
that guy.
I can't remember his name.
Steve
Steven?
No.
Yeun? Something like that.
Yeah, the Walking Dead guy.
Yeah, so Glenn from Walking Dead, Mayhem was amazing. I thought him and the female lead in Mayhem played a really good job riffing off each other, and there was a lot of...
Isn't that Joe Lynch's movie?
Is someone
It
here?
might be. Phoenix Forgotten is all right. Is that...
Maybe,
oh,
yeah.
and I watched the Netflix version of Gerald's Game the other day. It was all right. I forgot how much King plagiarized himself in that book. Do you not watch the Birds of Prey teaser trailer? Very terrible.
Meow.
I started rewatching all the seasons of Tales from the Crypt, currently on season 3. Nice.
Oh, here we go.
All right, we finally have the camera, camera obscura. It can see things that the normal eye can't, and that's the whole basis of this game is to hold down.
Whoa.
Of course, your sister gets in the
Yeah.
frame sometimes, and it's really creepy.
Get out of the way, goof.
And we have the flashlight, which has this full control, which is really awesome back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have the lighting pretty much cranked up right now so we can see it, but back in the day, there's a lot of dark areas in this house, and sometimes you'll shine the light on your sister. It's pretty creepy. So I have the camera.
Oh, best PlayStation 2 and Xbox original games. What do you think, guys? Your favorite PlayStation 2 / Xbox original games?
Category?
Yeah. PS2 game.
I'm trying to get this thing. Here we go.
Well, PS2 for me had, I mean, outside of horror, right?
I mean, I can name the famous ones, Metal Gear, obviously.
Sure. Wasn't Grand Theft Auto 3 a PlayStation 2
It sure was.
title, that time period?
Yep.
Also, Max Payne,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Vice City
Vice City, yeah.
is also
I
PC.
played Max Payne on PC though. See, during PS2, Xbox, I was a PC player,
Here we go.
so it's a little difficult. I'm like trying to think, like, well, shit, what was even out then? Because I was playing PC mostly. Door Woman.
Definitely not Tekken.
Definitely not Tekken Tag. There's a decent Tekken, but it's not Tag.
It's gone.
Not for my taste.
Gran Turismo.
Come on, let's get out of here.
Kill Screen, again, the Friday the 13th conversation. We're going to pick that back up with our next episode of Beyond, which is going to be on Tuesday. And for those of you who are just tuning in, we are on Tales from the Stream, which is a stream where we like to hang out, talk horror movies, and play some horror games. Right now we're playing Fatal Frame 2. And yeah, like I said, Tuesday we'll have another episode of Beyond where we'll be talking more about Friday the 13th, so make sure you tune in then. And bring your Friday the 13th questions. Anyone ever play Primal on PS2? Oh,
Yeah.
Primal, I feel like I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Primal Fury?
Different one.
Oh,
Okay.
I
Can't
played
go.
the shit out of Primal Fury in arcades. Good lord, I tore that game up.
Yeah.
No worries, Kill Screen. Adam Wilson official. Good afternoon, Matt, Ronnie, and Wes. How's it going, Adam?
Hey, buddy.
What's up, Adam?
Yeah, absolutely, Kill Screen. Bring it back to Tuesday, or you can always follow up with us on Reddit and the forums and social, and we'll try to get that scene too. Evil Dead: A Fistful of Boomstick is one of my fave PS2 games. I actually got that out of like a bargain bin at GameStop
Yeah.
for Xbox, because on 360 you could play all the original Xbox games with the backwards compatibility.
yeah.
It wasn't like with the
That
one,
key.
it was just immediate. And yeah, I picked that up, but I could never get it to work. Something with the disc was unreadable. It was one of those, like I said, those, in the GameStop branded cases. So, what are we doing with our Obscura camera here?
Looking around.
Anything cool?
No, this is my sister.
Just your sister getting in the shot.
There's her leg.
That's the leg problem. There
Yeah.
you go.
So you can upgrade your camera in this game too. That's a big part of the deal. Upgrade the film. Find different films. They have different power and special abilities. You can spend your points on the camera itself. Increase the viewfinder, the rate at which it gathers damage. So it's called what's that called? Accumulation. So that means that it accumulates. It's able to be used faster.
Got it.
There's a bunch of cool stuff you can do with your camera, and that's a big part of this game as well.
Oh, Marrow Jr., you're saying you want to see us play on a public match. Yeah, I think in future Tales from the Stream episodes, we can do some public match stuff, get some multiplayer things going. Absolutely agree.
Okay, we don't want to be in here.
Oh, and my own creation over on Mixer dropped a couple of horror games from the PlayStation 2 era with Parasite Eve, Resident Evil 2, and Silent Hill. Absolutely, man.
Yep.
Silent Hill. Ronnie is a huge Silent Hill fan.
I'm
We
a
did
Silent
the
Hill nerd. That's for
Resident
sure.
Evil 2 remake last Tales from the Stream. Parasite Eve, though, that's one that popped up.
The first of Fatal Frame 1 was set in the 80s, right? Like that was the time period. So is this the 50s?
I don't remember. I just want my sister to get out of my way. That's all I want right now.
You could say normal Marrow. Okay. Parasite Eve is PS1. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
PS1.
okay.
Yep, PS1. So Wes has a bunch of awesome Japanese history.
I did a little. Yeah, excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
About that
Are we
whole-
on mute?
I'm-
No, I'm
I'm-
kidding.
About the whole movement
No, I haven't
as
had
I'm
enough,
stumbling
I
around.
haven't had enough coffee today. I think it's not a problem. Struggling. I have a sleep number bed. And
It put you to sleep for
Apparently
real?
somebody
no,
changed your number.
like this morning I got up and it was like your sleep number was like 70 out of a possible 100, and that's not good, obviously. And I'm like, what the hell? And I look at the little chart and I see that I was like
All over the
rolling
place?
around all night long and shit. I don't know what's going on, but it's affecting me for sure today. So, but yeah, like we're constantly reading about horror, researching horror, and looking at all the ways that horror has influenced other horror over the times. And I think one of the last streams we talked a little bit about giallo and Italian horror, and how that impacted Western film. And J-horror, Japanese horror, is very interesting too when you historically like go back and look at it. And a lot of this stuff, I don't know, I wonder if Mad Eye's in here today. No, he's not.
No, no Mad Eye.
Mad Eye.
Mad Eye Yokai?
Yokai's usually in here.
He lives in
he-
Japan.
yeah.
Or he used to. So.
Right. Totally fluent. And
Yeah.
my Japanese is kind of garbage. Watashi wa
Oh, you were going to attempt. No wonder why. You don't want
Watashi
me-
wa Nihongo ga
Younga?
hanashimasen. Right. I don't speak Japanese at all. So
Yeah.
my language is
Okay.
completely broke, and super white boy as well. So, but with that said, yeah, it was interesting that if you could, because like horror and horror, spoken horror, like stories, based a lot on like Buddhist parables and shit like that, right? Dating all the way back to the Edo period, which would be like 1600s, right?
Damn.
Where obviously there wasn't film or anything, but there were still plays and things that would happen, with live action theater and shit like that, where people would go and watch these stories being told, and a lot of them had like morals and stories that were supposed to teach you something when you watch it, but they were all wrapped in this like always ghosts. It was always about spirits and ghosts because that was like a big part of that culture, right? With it being either anyo, or just ghost, or yokai, or bad ghost, or right. There's like several different types or whatever that they would be part of these stories that they would pass on, and that lasted for all the way up until the 1940s. So like anything that was predominantly like Japanese horror, be it through spoken, written, or even into film was like 99% about ghost, spirit, that kind of thing, right?
Gotcha.
And it wasn't until World War II and the bomb, then that changed everything, right? And it was basically, overnight, Godzilla, right? Which was a direct reflection of the bomb being dropped and the impact of that and what comes out of that kind of power, that kind of radiation, that kind of, right, is that monsters are created. Even you might even look at Godzilla and say, like, is that Western civilization, like Godzilla itself, right?
Right.
Stone crushing everything and this, whatever. But it was also this like breakdown of a sense of community because community was gone, right? But then there was like, at the same time, there were maybe just a little before the bomb dropped, there was a Japanese fishing vessel that was near U.S. waters, right? And we were testing the bomb. And so there's all these pictures online or videos online where you see a bomb going off in the ocean, right? Where we were testing those. There was actually a fishing trawler that was out there, a Japanese one that was near that. And no, the blast didn't kill them, but they received an immense amount of radiation from it. So by the time they got back to Japan, like their skin was, falling off and melting and stuff. And so there was this, stories began to be told of almost like, is this what happens when you get near America, right? Like,
Right.
the hell's going on? And they harness some kind of power that's doing this, is turning people into these monsters, right? Because their skin was all melting off. And you know how it goes when you tell a story. By the ninth time you tell the story, it's much worse than it.
Storytelling game of telephone.
Exactly. But that like transformed like that type of storytelling and that type of narrative from being spiritual or ghost based to due to this, be it radiation or an outside force, is changing their culture, right? Through Godzilla, through there was a lot of films. I think it's called like Mandora or something like that. It was in like the early '60s, where like these people were in a ship and the ship hit an island or that sank or something. They swam to an island, and there was no food to eat except for these mushrooms that would grow. Mushrooms, I guess you could kind of say mushroom cloud, right? This kind of,
Gotcha.
right, like ways to tie things together. But they would eat the mushrooms and they turned into these disgusting, like
Spore-based creatures, very like The Last of Us.
very much like The Last of Us, actually, where they had mushrooms growing on them, and it was pretty cool practical effects for the time. But it's interesting to see that shift that happened in cinema there, and then seeing some of that potentially influencing other parts of the world. But it immediately led into the mid and late part of the 60s, where we saw more, both with like pop culture of the women's movement around the world was happening, right? And so you started seeing more women in either powerful positions or more sexualized, right, in film, where before in Japanese film that was not the case, right? In kimono, right? Like it was not shown necessarily that way, and they allowed for a little bit more freedom, somewhat, in what they could show. So as long as it wasn't like genitalia or pubic hair or whatever, they could show it on camera. And so they started making the equivalent of like exploitation films that we would have found here in Western film, a similar thing. And some of those were wrapped in more of this like kind of post-bomb apocalyptic radiation type things. But then some was starting to go back to looking at ghosts again in the Edo period of the 1600s and like telling a story around that, where you'd have these ghosts that usually are female, right, that have been wronged in their life, and now in the afterlife they are stronger, right? They're far more deadly, and they're out seeking some kind of vengeance. But there'd be a lot of nudity and that, I mean, that genre was called Pinku Eiga, which pink films is sort of the and what we would know them as is like softcore porn. Right, basically what we would know them as. But they were steeped in Japanese horror, a lot of violence, a lot of cool practical effects were occurring around this time. So this, now we're looking at like, early 70s, mid 70s, and that kind of dominated that cinema all the way up through the 80s, where they just kept pushing the envelope because people kept buying them. And I don't mean like home video rentals. I mean like massive theaters were selling out, in Tokyo for people wanting to go watch these films. And so then you had a whole new genre that was created within Japanese horror that was a mashup of kaidan, which is the old traditional 1600s storytelling of ghosts that come back for vengeance or whatever, right? Usually female, mixed with these pinku aigas. So you had like this kaidan pinku aiga, like pinku aiga. Sorry if there's people that speak Japanese in the chat and they're like, this dude is totally butchering this. Like, sorry.
No.
But that became a new like subgenre of horror there that everyone seemed to really, really enjoy. And there was filmmakers that were going back to this kaidan style. And just that was where we saw finally the leap from, okay, this doesn't need to be about softcore porn, right? Like you can still tell a really great story and harken back to the traditional Edo roots of telling these stories, and that's why we got The Ring, right? Ringu,
Gotcha.
right? And you can see that the shift of that, but yet this is all like full circle, right? Anytime something new would occur, there was still like this circle that harkened back to this Edo period, which it's interesting because it goes back to a parlor game, right, that was played in the 1600s in Japan. And I'm going to totally jack up what this is called, so sorry, people in chat. It's Hyaku Monogatari Kadaku. Kadukai, sorry. That's how you say it, but that's probably not how you say it. Either way, what this was these Buddhist-inspired parlor games where they would have a certain building that it was only at night, and they had 3 rooms in the building, and everyone started in one room, and they would have Japanese lanterns lit, and there was a mirror, all right? And you had to tell 100 stories, and all of them had to be scary as shit, right? And as they would read some of these, they would start blowing out some of these lanterns, so it would start to get progressively darker.
And ratcheted it up.
Correct.
Yep.
And they had to tell the stories like to the mirror. So they walk up to the mirror and tell the story. Each person would stand up from the group and walk over and tell their story. And then once they got a room that was predominantly dark, they would move to the next room, which now has light again, but it has less lanterns in the previous room. They would tell those stories and continue to blow them out, blah, 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 until they got to 100. But most of these at night, they would never get to 100 because people would be too scared of it. They would be afraid that they were conjuring up these spirits that were going to come back and, mess up their family or do whatever. So it was very interesting to see that, like, you can look at things like Ringu, you can look at things like Ju-on, and even, some Western film, and date it all the way back, look all the way back to the 1600s where people in Japan were setting in rooms, right, with the equivalent of like candles, blowing them out and telling these stories to
Campfire stories,
yeah,
basically.
Yeah, and tell them to a mirror, which is there's some interesting context and things in there that you actually can kind of see and hear with camera obscura and not seeing the real thing unless you look, you have to look at a reflection or you have to look through something
through another lens
to see it,
so
right? Which the time frame of this makes sense.
So when did The Ring come out? And Ringu?
Ringu was 99.
Shit. Yeah, 99. That was in Japan.
Correct.
So
It came to American market, what, like
2001 or 2?
one or two.
And this is being developed about the same time, too.
Exactly. So it's cool that when you play this game, you can see
They were clearly all on the same
film,
page.
Right.
Yeah.
The film influence that was happening, but there was a movement that was occurring with Japanese horror, both in film and in game. And both of those things are here, but you can track it all the way back to the 1600s and see all these like things that are occurring and the things that were happening to that culture.
Yeah.
Right. From the bomb being dropped to, there was a lot of social constraints to what women should and shouldn't be doing. I'm not condoning any of that. I'm just saying that
it was
as a culture, they were frightened whenever women were leaving the home and were seeking employment, or if divorce happened, right? Like that, they saw that as bad things can come to that family, and which is also why in Ringu and Ju-on, the kids that are in that, they're from divorced families. Yeah. Right? It's like, it's all part of this narrative that
the women were leaving the house and being independent, and they were tearing apart the fabric of the family. Was that
right? Because it was too much, in their perspective, in their opinion, it was too much for them to carry. Like they were too many roles they were having to fulfill. It's kind of that adage of like spinning plates. You can only keep so many going, right? Something's going to fall.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the genesis of some of those stories as well. But again, that goes back to what was happening in the 60s with the breakdown of the nuclear family, some divorce starting to be more apparent, and women entering the workforce all caused this fear that was happening, right? And go back another 20-something years, and it was they dropped the bomb, and so radiation, what's it going to do to us? What's it going to do to our community? What's it going to do to my family? What monsters are going to come out of this, be it real or of the mind, right? Like, it's really interesting when you comb through the history of just J horror, and then seeing the influence, because there was even slashers that were happening before Western film ever had slasher, right? Like around the same time, and it's because of, again, this is I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but a woman leaves the household, assume they've divorced or whatever happened. She's seeking employment because there isn't a man there to provide whatever, but she's got kids and she's trying to manage all these things. That what they were trying to say, what filmmakers and things were trying to say at that time, was that's too much for a woman, too many roles to fulfill. Something's going to slip, and it's probably going to be your kids, and they're going to grow up, and something's going to be wrong with them, right? Yeah. So that what came out of that was like these social rifts where now this person is going to grow up and be a psycho killer or something. Right. Right. I mean, it's a bit of a stretch, obviously, in our culture to say, like, what? A single mom does not create murderers.
Behind us.
And seeing that entire chain of events and the way, some of the horror conventions in that kind of climate and how that shifts after our influence and the changes we've made. Some folks in chat have a lot of thoughts on this. I didn't.
Oh, cool. Sorry.
No, good. Yeah.
No.
I was blabbering too much. So.
No, not at all. But we've got Kiba PMS saying, I feel like Dark Water is a really good example of what you're talking about in regards to divorce and the impact on family.
Exactly. Yep. That's a great example.
And then over in Mixer, we've got Cataly, who she's been with this entire Japanese horror conversation.
Okay.
And I'm skipping a few, but she was talking about the types of films, loss of a loved one being heavy in Japanese film. Yeah. Sometimes not having power. So, like, taking to the Hong Kong movie Dreamhouse, which is super violent. And then again, what about even the newer stuff? She says Sadako. I'm going to do a horrible job of this. I apologize in advance. But what about even the newer stuff? Sadako versus Kayako took a very Americanized turn into it, and I think it was all Japanese. I think all Japanese production. So I'm wondering what made them do so. Which is interesting.
Excuse me.
Well, I mean, I think any filmmakers are inspired by tons of outside forces, and looking at different filmmaking techniques and different ideas or ways to tell a story.
She's trying to get my sister.
Ooh,
that's cool.
Where'd she go?
Oh,
get away
shit.
from me.
Oh shit.
That was not a good shot.
But I think that's potentially what
Oh, look. Watch her.
Oh shit.
They want my sister.
so
obviously.
You're fighting the sister off though with the camera. I mean, fighting the ghost off with the camera.
Yeah. So
that's pretty cool. So you got the one picture you got points for it and you showed your sister. The Japanese Freddy versus Jason. Okay, now I get what you're saying. Yeah. Game audio is a little loud.
Is it? Not for me. Sorry. Chapter 2. Excuse me, glowing object.
Yeah,
I would like to pick you up if you don't mind.
You look like when somebody throws a controller on the couch.
I know.
And
Look,
walks out.
there it is. Spirit.
You captured the ghost. You guys fans of the 7th Guest on PC? Oh my God!
Man, that's old.
Come on.
7th Guest in 11th hour.
Everyone played.
Yeah. What year was that? 95.
I remember it was the first
My way
PC
off.
I had.
I have them on Steam now. You know they're.
Someone in
they're
chat
on
look up
Steam.
that date because
I had
I want to see how close I am.
386 or something, some old.
Maybe
At the time it wasn't old, but
maybe I'm way off.
I had a PC that had that game on it.
Maybe go outside, I
Yeah,
believe.
those are actually available now on Steam still. I have both of them on
Are they?
Steam, and when you jump in and play, the puzzles are still great. I mean, obviously there's, they're pretty old games, but yeah, you can still play through them, and it's funny how you remember those puzzles you struggled over when you first played it.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting tie-in. So the parlor games I was talking about, the Buddhist parlor games they played, 1600s. Again, I'm gonna jack up the name. Hayaku Monogatari Kai Dain Kai.
Yeah, that one.
That one, you can actually find
Take a left.
like stories, diaries, bound pieces of paper with that are labeled as such in the Persona series. If
Oh.
you ever played.
sweet. Oh, yes.
Oh,
of course.
really?
Yeah. So they were obviously inspired by.
Yeah.
So can we come to a conclusion on what is the best horror movie of all time? I don't
Oh
think
God.
that's possible.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, The Shining is a big influence, believe it or not, on this game. It's his favorite. Kai
Interesting.
Chihiro is his favorite game movie, The Shining. A lot of ethereal plane type of stuff. It's the
Yeah.
best horror movie ever made?
Yeah.
Depends on who you ask, I guess.
Yeah, that's hard.
I mean, obviously, The Shining is. If you're talking like just horror movie fans, they might have a different answer. But if you're talking like high art critics, The Shining
Yeah.
is typically
I'd say
one of the horror.
Exorcist is up there too.
Yeah, The Shining. There's only a few that actually make these top like 200 film lists ever, and The Shining's one of them.
Before we got into making games
Here we go.
and digesting horror with a different lens, I didn't give enough credit to The Thing.
Oh yes, it's his
I
best
liked
movie.
it.
Yeah.
I liked it when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, it's cool. But then whenever you're completely wrapped in horror for a long time and you're dissecting it, like I said, with like a different lens than just I'm gonna watch this
Yeah.
from someone who is trying to create horror like we did with Friday. I went back and watched it again and I was like, my God, this is
Yeah, it's
really freaking good. I mean,
Yeah, it's one of the other ones that cracks the top 200 list. The Thing,
Yeah.
Shining, and The Exorcist. Those are the three. Yeah, people love Halloween, but man, The Thing's his best film by far, to me.
Cataly in Mixer wants to know personal favorites for each of us.
personal
I know-
favorite, what?
I know we've answered this a million times. Horror films.
What's your three? You have three.
I get to pick three?
Three. I'm actually going to stop here and we're going to chat.
Okay. It's a
Play it.
good place to pick. I know,
Well,
it's
The
tough.
Thing is actually sci-fi-ish, in the same way that Alien is. I still consider them both horror films.
Yeah.
So you can include those type of films if you
Yeah. This is really hard. Even just picking three is hard.
So
So I'm gonna
You
pick.
want me to go?
I'm gonna pick an old one, a fun one, and a newer one.
okay.
And now this doesn't mean that these are my. Like if I pick a new one, it's not the absolute or whatever. I'm just picking three that I'm like, I like these. I like these a lot, right? So my old one's gonna be original Halloween.
Okay.
I loved it.
Just
That's
kidding. Just like- We're
gonna
just talking about The Thing.
You can shit on. I know.
And
then you pick Halloween.
I know. You can shit on it.
People
all you
can't get
want.
away from Halloween.
I know.
It's okay.
But because of, it to me it's the quintessential slasher that's done with a master's hand and it's not clumsy. It doesn't. In some other slasher films, I feel like they kind of are.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's minimal, and I love minimalism in all aspects, and that one does it for me.
Yeah.
My fun one's Return of the Living Dead.
Oh, snap.
Love Return of the Living Dead. It's my favorite. Put it on, and this sounds weird to say it, but like not think. You know what I mean? Just have it on in the background. You know, I find myself smiling and laughing more than.
It's funny.
It's a great
yeah.
one. And then when it comes to modern, I really liked It Follows.
Okay.
I really liked it.
That was not one I expected to hear.
I know. I liked it because
These aren't your favorite horror films.
No,
These are
these aren't-
3 that you enjoy.
yes, it's too hard for you to say like, pick the one. But I'm just
Yeah.
telling you 3 films that entertain me and I enjoy and why I.
You just like the
enjoy it.
soundtrack to follow.
Soundtrack was phenomenal,
Yeah.
right? But it was this because good horror always is it's taking a mirror and shining it at you, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's you, or sometimes it's pop culture, or just whatever civilization, whatever. But it was so genius for me anyway for it to be like, oh, this is basically an STD that kills you.
Essentially.
But in a human, but not. It's like a ghost story, but
Only you can see it.
correct.
Because only you know you have the STD.
Correct.
It's
Correct.
the same thing.
Exactly. So that becomes that canary in the mine for you is you had sex with someone, and then now you see this dead thing. No one else can see it, and it's never stopping.
And you
It's
need to pass
never
it
going
on.
to stop. And the only way for it to stop, right, is
Yeah.
for you to pick someone else and go, well, now you're going to have to get
Good
it.
luck. Yeah.
Right.
It is a
And
very
that's-
unique movie.
Right.
You know.
I hadn't seen anything that like kind of mashed up some of those, because there's always that underlying, oh, if you have sex, you're going to die. That's
Yeah,
been,
yeah.
right? That's like,
This is the one thing it saves you, though.
Buddy of ours, Jason.
yeah,
That was
that's
a
the
big part
meat,
of why he
the
was
meat
running,
and potatoes of 80s horror, right?
Yeah.
So, but putting a new spin on it, I was like, man, that's really cool. And
The
I
commentary,
thought the thing that the different types of ghosts that were in it were pretty damn creepy too. When she pulls out, and I guess whoever the guy backs out. Sorry.
Oh,
When she backs out of the driveway, it's from
oh yeah.
backs out of the driveway, and the guy's naked on the roof.
Oh, the dad.
What's his, yeah, the dad.
Yeah, that's
like,
fucking creepy.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Any
That
any
was a
naked
cool
dad
shot.
standing on a roof.
Yeah, because it's also a really wide shot,
And it's daytime too.
a lot of horror
helps.
movies don't do that. A lot of horror movies don't.
Well, yeah, because they don't build the
do-
whole set. That's in house that they use.
But
you know.
even still, it takes balls to do it because most horror does well when you close down, give a vignette, make me feel in tight
Yeah.
corners, and then
Yeah.
make lights
Hold your
flash,
hand.
right, and
Yeah,
something jump out and
exactly.
scare you like that. So to not do that and say no, blow that shit out, make it a super wide shot,
Yeah.
right? And I mean, it's a ballsy move. It's actually kind of a Carpenter move.
Yeah.
He does that a lot himself too. So
Yeah.
that was my 3. Sorry, I almost should stop
No,
talking.
you're good.
No, you're good.
I yammer on too much.
Also, just real quick, for those that don't know, these kids today, this is an instruction manual. It came inside of the game case.
Made out of paper.
Right.
This thing-
it has information.
They used to be this thick when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you'd get a map. You would get this is your only hope to know anything about any game, or the Nintendo hotline on the back of the box
Right.
for $5 a minute.
Yep.
Anyway, I just thought it was funny that these things existed.
Yeah.
Now they don't.
No, they do not.
Nonetheless,
You open it up now, and it's like,
nothing. It's a DLC code.
DLC code,
If you
yeah.
pre-order the right copy.
Right, exactly.
Or an ad for their next game. So that's really what it is. So mine are The Shining,
Okay.
Suspiria. Well, I'm gonna do 4: Shining, Suspiria, The Thing, and Texas. So
Wow.
those are my favorite.
You were quick with that. I have no shame in my game, and I you know, I've said on these streams plenty of times that to me horror has always been about just creep me out or have fun with it, and you know what I mean. So one movie I always put on when I'm just in the mood. Again, like you had said, don't want to think too much. Just want a background horror movie. Return of the Living Dead, always, all the time.
Super thumbs up for me.
Zombie by Lucio Fulci.
Oh, yeah.
is
That's a
another
good one.
that I love. I don't know what it is about that. The soundtrack
Because it's
to
a
it
good
is just,
film by
well,
a brilliant
sure.
filmmaker.
Sure. But
Probably.
for me personally, I think
Yeah.
it's the audio, the way the soundtrack plays.
Oh, yeah.
Mixed with
And yeah,
and then I guess I want to pick one that's kind of an upset because I feel like there's a lot of cool things that we get to see.
The underdog, huh?
Yeah, like
Cujo.
Concept Alone. Believe it or not, Concept Alone is a modern one. 30 Days a Night. I thought that was pretty.
Oh, wow.
yeah, that
okay.
was good.
Because I feel like we've seen so many vampire films, we've never seen them go somewhere where they literally can just exist
Yeah.
for days on end and just torment a town.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
something about that isolation aspect of the location as well that I thought was.
All great horror movies.
Yeah.
Isolate you in some way.
Yep.
Yeah. Every movie we've named,
But what's
you've
cool
been
is,
isolated. So.
whereas they're usually isolating singular characters to then pick them off, this is isolating the entirety of the. I mean, if
Yeah.
a vampire looks at human beings as snacks, this is looking at it as like an all-you-can-eat buffet
Right.
in one town where they can just exist. and
Yeah.
everything. And so, I mean, never mind the entirety of the movie. The concept alone, I think, means that it warranted a note here. So
Yeah, it's good choice.
again, guys, will you all three be going to PAX East? If I do end up there, I'm bringing old vintage goodie gifts. We will all be at PAX East.
We will
yes.
be there if you can find us.
Yeah. Well, we'll make sure of it.
Yeah,
Don't
we'll
worry
be
about
there.
it. So is Wes going to strip or what?
Oh, right, I forgot.
What's
Yeah.
this magical
it's
shirt you
it's
have
funny
on?
because I should have mentioned this in Rob Camera One.
Yeah, zoom on Wes.
What I should have
Great for his
mentioned this
close-up.
in one of my favorites because it is one of my favorites from Creepshow. It is The Raft.
Oh, awesome. Yes.
You mentioned that the last
I got this
stream.
from I think it was Cavity Colors,
Probably.
or Fright Rags. Actually, I think made this one. Fright Rags. It says, "No one knows that we're here," and that's no oil slick,
no oil
which is
slick.
great. And it's got the oil slick eating this person, and then the guy that like makes the run for it at the end. He gets to the beach and he's like, "I beat you, and it just comes out. Yeah.
He gets him.
So yeah, that's my strip for the stream.
I'm a t-shirt guy. Okay. Like I'm a fan of the Prime T-shirt. Hunted deep in the closet for the Gremlins one.
Yeah.
I want that shirt, man.
Well, see, it's funny. The first time I bought it, I got it. I was like, "Oh, this is so badass! I'm gonna wear it because it was time for Scarefest here in Lexington." And so I put it on. I walk in to Scarefest, and it was the one that we had right after I think the game came out.
F-13
So we
centric
had
one?
we
Yeah.
flew everybody in from Friday, at least a lot of people from Friday to be there.
Yeah.
And so Tom's setting up his booth or whatever, and I come walking up, and he's like, "Hey, Wes," and he double takes, and he's like, "Where did you get that shirt?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, no, it's bad." And he's like, "I fucking love it." And I was like, "Yeah." So anyway, he's big fan of
Yeah,
the
the
Raft as well. So anyway, is there any other questions that we need to cover in chat?
No, I think we're pretty good, guys.
Okay.
I just wanted to say real quick to both Mixer and Twitch, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us for another Tales from the Stream. Or as I like to say to my little nephews, Tales from the Stream. We played a little Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly.
Not very well, mind you.
Hey, man, it's
We'll apologize.
It's been a minute, and we're all here to hang out anyhow. So, yeah, basically, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be back on Tuesday with an episode of Beyond. We're going to be talking about some hot topics from the community on Friday the 13th, the game. And then we'll also be back on Thursday with another Tales from the Stream. Like I said, you guys can catch both of these shows. There you go. Moobot has my back. You can catch both of these shows at 3 p.m. Eastern right here on both Twitch and Mixer. So thank you guys very much. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. And thanks very much to Mr. Wes Keltner, our president here at Gun, and Mr. Ronnie Hobbs, our creative director. You guys have a good Valentine's Day. Everybody take
Yeah,
care.
happy
be safe.
Valentine's Day.
Absolutely. See you guys Tuesday, right?
Yeah, we'll be back Tuesday. Absolutely.
We'll be here smiling.
Yes.
Yep.
Big smiles,
He'll
from
be
Mr.
smiling.
Wes. There, look, there you go.
Hey.
Hey. All right, guys, you take it easy.
See you.